Hey, welcome to Cooking with Kenny G. Now, on today's video, I am going to show you how to make a beautiful sour cream cheese biscuit. Now, these things are layered with butter and cheese and flavor. They are unbelievable. They can be used for a sandwich. They can be used for a breakfast. Slice them in half, put an egg on, put the lid back on top. They are beautiful. Have a look at these things. These are gorgeous. So I'm going to show you how to make these. Super easy to make, not a lot of ingredients, not a lot of time involved. The flavor is unbelievable. You're gonna have to stick around the end. There's a couple little secrets I'm gonna teach you to make these things like next level awesome. So pitter patter, let's get at it. Let's make a beautiful sour cream baking soda biscuit. Now this is part of the video where I get to use my culinary French terms, and this one is mise en place. You guys hopefully know that one if you've watched my videos. So I'm gonna run you through the equipment that you're gonna need and then all the ingredients that you're gonna need for this recipe. Now I like to get everything ready beforehand so I'm not running around grabbing stuff and making a big mess. Like I always say, less mess, less stress makes the recipe a lot easier. You're gonna need a small knife, a kitchen grater, a wire mesh strainer, of course the blue scraper, a little pastry brush, some measuring spoons, measuring cups, a rubber spatula, rolling pin, a pastry cutter, or if you're a fan of Wolverine, maybe this is like his adamantium claws that come out, and a baking sheet with parchment paper or Silpat on there. Now I love this Silpat. We'll put a link for all this stuff down below that I have if you're looking to get it. The reason I like to use this stuff is it is washable, goes in the oven, reusable. You don't have to waste money on parchment paper, throwing it away. So there we go, that's all the equipment that you're gonna need. Now let's run you through the ingredients that you're gonna need to make these absolutely gorgeous sour cream baking soda cheese biscuits. Now what I've done here is I've sifted together some all-purpose flour and some pastry flour and all the other ingredients. Now don't worry, because I will put a link down below in the comment box, and that's gonna have the recipe in it, and I'm also gonna put it in the video too as I run through it. So you will see the ingredients if you wanna write it down yourself, or just download the PDF. You're gonna make yourself a beautiful little recipe file that you can put in your recipe book. Okay, so what I've got here is all-purpose flour and pastry flour. Now the reason that I've combined the two is I want this to be a little bit softer, so I didn't use straight all-purpose flour. There is a little bit of kneading involved, and I don't want them to get too tough by kneading them and having that gluten develop too much. So I've got here, I'm gonna give this to you in grams or in metric because I am in Canada, but don't worry for my American friends. I'm gonna put it on the screen in the imperial measurements. And then of course, like I said before, down below, it will be on the recipe file. Now what I have here is 225 grams of all-purpose flour, and I've also got 130 grams of pastry flour. Again, combining those two flours when you need it, it's still gonna be quite soft. I also have 10 grams of baking powder in here, 10 grams of kosher salt, 5 grams of granulated sugar. I have 5 grams of ground black pepper. There's also 5 mils of dry dill in here and 5 mils of parsley. You can use fresh chopped parsley if you want, if you have it, or just use the dry parsley. They're both fine. Now that's it for all the dry ingredients. Now for the wet ingredients, I have sour cream here. There's 300 mils, or it actually works out to a cup and a quarter. There you go for my American friends. Now the cheese that I like to use is, try and find a cheese that's a little bit stronger, has a little more flavor to it. So what I have here is a Gruyere cheese, which is quite strong. And also I have an old cheddar in here, and I've got 1 ounce of each, or 30 grams of each cheese, just grated. I have a little bit of Parmesan cheese here, fresh Parmesan that I've grated up. Now that's gonna just go on the top. So that's about 20 grams of that, or a little less than 1 ounce. I also have the super secret flavor ingredient. This is optional, but I would like you to try and have it in there. Beautiful blue cheese. Now the blue cheese is, I have 1 ounce of that, or 30 grams of blue cheese. Now what that does, that's gonna add a lot of richness to the flavor, and it's gonna also just punch that flavor up a little bit. You're not really gonna taste blue cheese in it. It's just such a gorgeous enhancement in this. You're gonna love it. Trust me, I am a professional. Now I've also got chilled cubed butter. Now this is 115 grams, or half a cup. I remembered those weights. There you go. And I also have here about, it's about a tablespoon of butter that I'm gonna melt, and that'll be brushed on top. So that's all the ingredients that you're gonna need. You got your equipment, you got your ingredients, that's your mise en place, you get that going. Now let's get this thing started. So what you're gonna wanna do, get the oven preheated to 425 degrees before you get any of this stuff together. And then by the time you get it all mixed up, the oven will be preheated and you are ready to go. So let's get this party started. Now make sure you have a big enough bowl. Now we've got all the dry ingredients sifted together here. All I'm gonna do is add in the cubed chilled butter and then the Wolverine machine, the pastry cutter. Gonna cut in the flour and the butter, just so they're like pea-sized pieces. And what I am also going to do is I'm gonna add that blue cheese in there too. I'm gonna cut this butter in a little bit first and then add the blue cheese in and mix that up. Again, blue cheese is optional, but please try it. Trust me on that one. It will add a great deal of flavor to your finished product. There, just cut that in. This is probably a riveting video, but it is the process. So there we go. Take your blue scraper. If you've got one, make sure you get one of these. They're great for anything in the kitchen. This is a super easy recipe to do. Doesn't take a long time, and the end product you are gonna love. Get rid of that. Now, what you wanna do is take the cheese, add it into your flour mixture there. Just mix it up with your hands. Make sure it gets covered in the flour. If you see any huge pieces of butter in there, you can break them up with your fingers. But the old Wolverine claws did a pretty good job in there. All right, now it's time to add in the sour cream. Just make a little well in the bottom. Oven's preheated now. Shh. Make a little well in the bottom. It's done. Make a little well in the bottom. Put the sour cream in. And you're just gonna wanna mix that up so it comes together as a dough. I like to do this in a bowl. I don't like to use the mixer. It's not a very big recipe, and you can manage it by hand too. As that starts to come together, you can just get your hands in there and bring that dough back together a little bit. And then when you got it together fairly well, you can turn it out onto the table. This is why I use pastry flour too, because I am kneading this a little bit. Like I say, this biscuit is nice and soft. I don't really want a tough biscuit. Okay, now it's almost fully together. What I'm gonna do is just take that extra flour there, turn it out onto the table or onto the counter. And I'm just gonna knead that together with my hands. It's coming together nicely. This is going to be a very, very flaky, layered, beautiful finished product. So there we go. It's all come together. Just get the rest of that flour. There we go. There's the dough there. As you can see, it's a nice dough, not super wet, easy to manage. Now, the fun part, a little bit of flour on the counter. Spread that out. Now what you want to do is you're going to want to press the dough out until it's about 8 inches by 4 inches. So metric, I don't know, 20 by 10. It's funny, I use metric for a lot of my weighing and that, but with measurements, I use imperial. Started out with imperial measures as a kid, and then we moved to the metric system. Okay, I got it roughly in a rectangle now, 8 inches by 4 inches. Now what you want to do is take the dough, turn it 1/4 turn. Now you're going to take the one edge, fold it over, press it down a little bit, and take the other edge, fold it over, kind of like folding a book together. And then you're going to want to take your rolling pin and pin it out till it gets back to that 8 by 4 size. If you need a little bit more flour on there, you can put a little flour on if it's sticking to the counter. Pin it out. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be a nice kind of rough, rustic biscuit. Okay, and then you're going to want to take it again, flip it over like a book. Flip it over like a book and press it down. And then you're gonna get it back to that 8x4 size. And that'll be the last time. You can cut it. Every time that I fold it over and then pin it out and then fold it over again, it's just adding layers into the biscuit. So you'll see when it's finished, but the biscuit's gonna have these gorgeous little layers in there of paste. It makes it nice and flaky. And that's it. Doesn't take too long to do. Just pinning it out, making it nice and even now. If you want, you can take your blue scraper. Doesn't have to be blue actually. Take your kitchen scraper, just flatten it up. Now what you can do is, depending on how big you want to make them, you can cut them. I'm going to cut this one into 8 because they are quite big. Cut it in half. There we go. I got my 8 pieces. Just place those on your baking sheet. Should clean my hands a little bit here. There we go. Blue scraper helps keep that counter nice and clean. Let me wash my hands. All right, hands are washed. Counter is clean-ish. Okay, now all you're gonna do is melt the butter down. You can just use the microwave. Get your brush ready. Okay, butter is melted. Just gonna brush it on top of the biscuits. Should cover them nicely. What that'll do is, as they bake, it'll brown them up on the top. So they'll look beautiful when they come out of the oven. Now a little bit of that fresh Parmesan cheese on top, just for an extra little hit of cheese flavor. Now the oven is preheated. I'm gonna lower the temperature to 350 and then we're gonna cook them for 15 to 20 minutes. So check them after about 15. If they don't look like they're quite baked enough, then you can take it up to 20 minutes. Let's get these in the oven. Going down to 350. In the middle of the oven, and we're just gonna let those go, so I'll see you in 15 minutes. It's been 20 minutes now. I checked them after 18, they weren't quite ready, so I let them go for about 2 more minutes after that. Gave me an opportunity to crush coffee and clean the kitchen up nicely. So let's get these biscuits out, have a look at them. Oh, they are beautiful. I don't know if you can see these things, but they look absolutely gorgeous. Ooh, nice flaky layers in there. I can see the cheese in there, the buttery goodness. I'm just gonna put these on a cooling rack, let them cool down. You're gonna wanna dive into these right away, but they are too hot. You'll burn your mouth. Let them cool down a little bit before you eat them. We are gonna let those cool down a little bit before we try them. Flaky, buttery, sour cream, baking soda biscuits. We're finished. Well, you're finished. I'm finished. We're both finished. Make sure you give these things a go. They are beautiful. Hey, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you are going to make these sour cream baking soda biscuits with cheese in them. They are absolutely unbelievable. Again, a little secret blue cheese in there that you don't have to tell anybody about it. Now, if you enjoyed the video, you got to give it one of these thumbs up. Like the thumbs up. If you got any comments in the comment box down below, I will respond to you. And remember, download the recipe, print it off, make yourself a beautiful cookbook. You've got all these excellent recipes in there. Tender, flaky. Oh, look at that. See the steam coming off those things? You're gonna love these, trust me. And you're gonna be making them all the time. I've made these so many times now. I'm gonna start looking like one. Anyway, give it a go. Thanks so much. Enjoy.